Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, the Avatar Wolf, and I'm joined today by my co-host, as always.
What up, y'all? We're back to talk some more football.
Man, what an interesting week one we had this week,
I
Potter.
just want to throw that out there. Did you like that I picked the Miami Dolphins and they ended up squashing the Patriots? How about it, Ace? How about that loss? How you feel? That's all I got to say about that. Won't smack me. Fuck him and his Patriots.
Now, I did not keep track of like everyone's picks, of me and your picks. I kept track of everyone else's picks that's in this pick'ems.
No, I do know that I picked the Dolphins to win because I was going to go against you because I thought for some reason that Tyreek Hill was going to show out this week, and show out he did.
We're going to talk about more of the Dolphins when we get to that game, though.
Yeah, okay, when we get to that game. There's a specific thing that I want to talk about, though.
With the Dolphins?
Okay. Yes, with the Dolphins.
Okay, I'll let you talk about that when we get to that game then. But yeah, a lot of like stuff we gotta talk about. Like we gotta get through all these games here. Let's just start with our first game tonight. We got the Chargers at the Chiefs on Thursday Night Football. Potter, take it away.
The Chargers. Oh my God. Justin Fields gets better every week according to his coach. It shows he played well.
Okay. It's cutting. It's cutting. You're just a robot. Oof. I'll let him come back real quick just before. Hello?
Okay. Hey, how about now?
Okay, you sound good. I'm just gonna. If I cut you off again, it's because you're starting to cut and turn a robot.
That's fine. Man, it does not look like the Chiefs have missed a single beat, and they are back to prove that they are still a dominant force in the AFC. Two young studs taking control of their teams, and it's Andy Reid versus who's their coach right now?
Stanley, I think it's his name. I can't remember the name of the Chargers coach.
I can't remember his name either, but they're definitely like Andy Reid's an experienced coach, and this dude's a relatively newer coach. It is cool to see what's happening with Justin Herbert. I'm really hoping that you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and be the odd man out at the first pick of the game. I'm gonna take the Chargers over the Chiefs because I believe that much in Justin Herbert every week.
I don't think it's a bad choice. Now, here's the thing. I was actually thinking about taking the Chargers as well. However, I have by the way, I actually searched it up. It is Brandon Stanley is his name, is the head coach of the Chargers.
Brandon Stanley.
Yep. But I looked up actually before this game, before we started recording, and I found out that the two teams for the last 2 years, there's actually a team that's beaten the Chiefs in their home stadium 2 years in a row, and that is the Chargers. So I don't think it's a bad pick to the Chargers against the Chiefs in this game. However, real quickly, I think the Chargers had a really good game against the Vegas Raiders. I almost said Vegas Knights, but no, that's a different sport, Wolf. But really good games, 24-19. The Chiefs, man, they came out and they completely dominated the Arizona Cardinals. Now, we're going to talk about the Cardinals later on in the game, but the Chiefs really looked really dominant against Arizona, and they're picking up right where they left off. It's going to be very interesting to see how this offense plays against an actual defense as in the Chargers. Like we said in week one, Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, Derwin James, J.C. Jackson. This is not a bad defense, to say the least. So we're going to actually see how hard the Chiefs get tested tonight against the Chargers. And I don't think Mahomes and the Chiefs are really looking away. However, I'm going to have to actually go with Potter in this pick, and I'm going to take the Chargers because I think the kryptonite for to beat Mahomes is to actually get pressure without blitzing at all against the Chiefs. You have Khalil Mack there, you have Joey Bosa. I think you're going to have enough pressure to put on Mahomes and have a nice little coverage from the secondary and backup and the linebackers. And Mahomes is not going to have a good day in the pocket, really. Let's just say in this game on Thursday night.
And not for nothing, but for the last 2 years, the Chargers have had the Chiefs' number. Justin Herbert has gotten better and better after every single game he's played. For the last 2 years that I've been watching him, he is something special there in Los Angeles. He's definitely special. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more from him and hoping that they make the playoffs this year.
I mean, let's be honest. 3 touchdowns, 279 yards passing is not bad for Justin Herbert. Not bad at all.
Not at all. Not for his first game back. I mean, it could have been a little better, but you know what? You start off a little slow. But I think that this game honestly, I'm telling you right now, he's gonna bust 300 in this game. He's gonna have no choice. Especially if his defense.
Go on.
Especially if Mahomes and his offense, and the high motor of the Chiefs' offense, if they get going, then you have no choice but to rely on Herbert and his arm, to get to where they're going.
I think this is going to be a very high scoring game in my opinion. I don't think
it's going to be a battle through the air in my opinion.
I think the Chiefs, the reason I said about the Chargers defense getting to Mahomes, that's going to be like the key priority for the Chargers to win this game against the Chiefs. However, if they cannot do that and Mahomes starts going off, it's going to be a high point battle. Let's just be honest here. Both teams are going to charge out really. The Chargers have a really good offense as well that could actually keep up with the Chiefs, which they've proven in the last 2 years in Kansas City as well by beating them. Real quickly, Chiefs are going to be without Harrison Buckner actually kicking field goals for them because he's actually injured. What's your thought on Justin Reed taking kicks for Kansas City?
Honestly, I think Andy Reid knows that he can trust in his new kicker, Justin Reed. I think that he can be competent in making kicks. I think it will be fine.
Now, he was making kicks actually last week against the who were they playing? Arizona. He was making kicks last week against Arizona, and this man's actually a safety that's playing the kicker spot. It's very interesting to say the least, and this is what I think the kicker spot's going to turn into. Is going to be role players actually taking kicks from now on. I think that's what the league is going to evolve into sooner or later. Because he was not missing kicks, Potter. He was actually hitting some good kicks, shockingly enough.
We'll have to see. That's going to be a good game.
I think it's going to be a really good game. So we're both taking Chargers over the Chiefs. Let's go on to our next game on the channel. We got the Jets at the Browns.
Fucking. All right. So what we saw this past Sunday with the Browns was nothing short than, in my opinion, spectacular. The Browns picked apart the Seahawks. Baker Mayfield had no chance.
The Seahawks?
Huh?
You said the Seahawks?
Browns played the Seahawks this past week.
It was the Panthers.
Or the Panthers. My bad. The Panthers. Potter fuck up count to 5.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Anyways, Baker Mayfield had no chance. He said he was going to fuck them up, and he got fucked up. I liked watching Jacoby Brissett. I didn't think Jacoby Brissett was going to play that well, considering, and you know how I feel about Jacoby Brissett.
I don't think Brissett played that well at all. But I'll let you keep talking.
I honestly think that he played as well as he did for the Browns to win.
I'm gonna say this: he was a game manager. 34 passes, 18 completions, 174 yards, and a touchdown for Brissett.
Of course, managed. I'm not advocating that Brissett's their guy in any means. Okay. I'm advocating the fact that he's going to be able to hold the Browns down for the next 10 games. Kareem Hunt. Jesus Christ, that dude's a monster. Like, if Kareem Hunt's going to play like that all year long, what's going to happen?
Kareem Hunt,
what I'm saying?
here's the thing about the Browns. And this is again thing about for the Jets. If you want to win this game, New York, you're gonna have to beat the Browns in the run game.
And the Jets' run game is trash. This isn't Madden. This isn't let's stack the whole team up full of aces boys and let's try to get a Super Bowl. This is the New York Jets, and they're trash. They are trash. You think that they're going to be able to stop Kareem Hunt? I'm taking the Browns to win by a landslide.
Okay, are you talking about Kareem Hunt or are you talking about Nick Chubb?
Both of them. Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. Doesn't matter who they feed the ball to. They're gonna gain 5 yards, 6, 7 a carry against that trashy run defense in New York. That New York run defense is trash.
Okay, so real quickly, Zach Wilson's not gonna be playing for this game. He's out already, like not even like gonna be questioned, second guessing. So it's gonna be Joe Flacco at quarterback for the Jets once again. Like I said before,
Hey,
if you want,
can you remind me? Can you remind me what the score of this past Jets game was?
the Jets actually lost 24-9 against the Baltimore Ravens.
9 points. 9 points was all they can muster against the Ravens. What do they think they're going to do against the Browns?
Oh, you think the Ravens are like are less than the Browns right now? You think the Browns actually better?
In my opinion, I think the Ravens' defense has always been stacked. I don't think that the Ravens' offense is as explosive as the Browns' offense is. I don't believe that.
Okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
I do think that Lamar Jackson is a great player. I just don't think that they have those explosive pieces at wide receiver where he can throw the ball to yet. Like, they really haven't exploded.
So I'm gonna give the Jets credit for last week against the Baltimore Ravens. They stopped the run game of the Ravens. They only mustered at least 83 yards rushing on the ground as a team.
And that was J.K. Dobbins. Who is J.K. Dobbins? Who outside of Ohio State alumni and Ohio State fans and Ravens fans knows who J.K. Dobbins is? Because as far as I can tell you, J.K. Dobbins hasn't emerged yet to be any more than a nobody.
Yes,
so
yes,
they
but
can't
Lamar,
do that. If
Lamar runs on the ground.
84 yards is still 84 yards. You think they're going to stop Kareem Hunt or Nick Chubb?
I don't think they're actually going to stop. I don't think they're going to stop Kareem Hunt.
Not at all. The Jets are still the Jets, regardless. I know you're trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, but this ain't Madden, Wolf. They can't pay you 200 bits to make a team. They can't pay you $200 to make a team better than it's trash. Sorry. Not sorry. Jets are trash.
Point
I'm
is
taking
that if the Jets... I did not make a decision of who's going to win yet. All my point was I was going to try to say is that if the Jets want to win this game, they got to find a way to stop the running game of the Browns. You got to make it where the actual game for the Browns is going to be in the hands of Jacoby Brissett and make Jacoby Brissett beat you instead of letting the run game beat you. Is that a fair assessment,
Well,
Potter?
Of course, that's the idea, but I don't believe that the Jets can do that.
I don't think they can do it. I don't know if they can do it, but this is going to be a game if they somehow do it. This is a good test for the Jets, really, to show they're actually improving as a team.
Very true. I mean, they can show improvement.
Yes. However, a lot of Jet fans are going to say about the injuries, Zach Wilson still being out, that's going to hurt them. If you think Zach Wilson's actually the man of New York, I'm not. I don't believe in quarterbacks until they show me that I should believe in them.
I still feel like Joe Flacco is a decent backup, and Joe Flacco could be good. He could be decent for the Jets if the Jets would actually protect him.
That's the main problem that the Jets have. They cannot protect Joe Flacco, and Joe Flacco's not athletic to really move around the pocket at all.
No, you don't think what's his name is gonna have Myles Garrett's gonna have a field day with him?
Oh, I think Myles Garrett's going to eat up this freaking line. It's going to be bad. It's going to be a bad game for Joe Flacco. And I know Jack Conklin.
I know Jack Conklin's still out for the Browns. I believe he's still questionable for the Browns. Yep, I believe. But that honestly, even without Jack Conklin, I still think like Kareem Hunt's gonna have a great game. I think this is going to be the game where we see Nick Chubb break out a little bit more than Kareem Hunt, trying to prove that he's still there too. You know what I'm saying?
I think Nick Chubb kind of broke out against the Panthers last week. 141 yards rushing for Kareem Hunt or for Nick Chubb.
I just think that he's going to have another day.
He's gonna have another day. I can't agree with
Have
that.
another day.
I think that if you want to be honest with me right here, you could one of these running backs are gonna hit 100 yards easily.
I think that both of them combined are going to hit 250. I think we'll see. I think we'll see another 150-yard day from Nick Chubb, and we'll see a decent 100-yard day from Kareem Hunt, if not more. Honestly, I'd love to see him hit 300 because fuck the Jets.
All right, I think we're both taking the Browns over the Jets. I don't think it's actually a contest here.
Right. There's no contest there. You think I'm going to pick the Jets at all this year? You're funny.
Let's go to the next game, and this is going to be interesting. The Washington Commanders at the Detroit Lions.
Oh, and the Lions played a really great game. I watched every second of the Lions game last week, and I was really on my heels because there was really great play from that Lions defense towards the end of the game there, and oh my God, their running back. Oh, I can't remember his name. DeAndre Swift. Man, just to start the game, he broke 2 rushes for 70 yards within the first 2 minutes of the game. That kid is something special. But I'll tell you right now, the thing that is holding back the Detroit Lions is and always will be Jared Goff. And let me explain why. There was a specific play that I'm talking about during this game where TJ Hawkinson, their tight end, went for a drag and out. Okay. So Hawkinson ran for the out, but Goff threw the drag. So Goff needs to start communicating with his receivers on a better basis, or else he's going to fuck up like that all game long. I thought Goff was a hot mess. He looked scared. He looked really scared in the pocket, really rushed. I really think that the Detroit Lions need to make a quarterback change, and soon. If they're going to stick with Goff for this season and tank it out, whatever, to get a first-round draft pick, maybe the quarterbacks are going to be better in this year's draft than last year's. But I'll tell you right now, the Detroit Lions, you need to make a play for a quarterback. And in my opinion, your squad will be complete. You have a decent defense holding it down. That defense held it down all game. And then when the Lions started to come back, it was just a little too late. Losing by 3 points, that's an upset. In Detroit, you know, living here and watching this fan base, I watched them go from last year being like, I don't know if we're going to ever be a good team, to them actually believing in their team this year. And you see it everywhere I go. I see it everywhere I go. Every grocery store, every gas station, someone has a line, something on. And I'll tell you, last year, you know how I felt about this team last year. Last year, they weren't as up to par. I knew that they were going to be something, but my point being.
Oh, I think we lost him. Hello?
I'm still here, right?
Yeah, you're here. Okay. Your mic cut out for some reason.
All I'm saying is that I feel like the Detroit Lions need to make a jump for a quarterback. It needs to happen. I feel like their team would be
another cut.
I keep cutting out, don't I?
Yeah.
Hello?
Are you close to your house?
Yeah, I'm going in my house right now.
Okay. So
just go ahead and talk about this game.
All right. So real quickly, since Potter just mentioned about the Lions, I'm going to talk about the Commanders real quick. Great win against the actual Jacksonville Jaguars last week, 28-22 your final score. Carson Wentz, 4 touchdown passes, 2 interceptions, over 300 yards passing. Not a bad day from Carson Wentz. He's looking like he's actually looking decent in Washington compared to how he did last year in Indianapolis. And I don't think Carson Wentz actually was that bad in Indy, and that Indy kind of just like threw him away before like too soon, in my opinion. So Carson Wentz is actually giving the Washington Commanders some life and some hope in Washington compared to what Detroit or what Indianapolis was giving. But like Potter said, the Detroit Lions, they are going to be a very tough out for teams to beat. The only way a team I think can beat them is if they're actually a really good elite team. And what I mean by that is that they have to, a team that's really good, they're not going to let them have a chance to come back in the game. Whereas these bad, mediocre to average to semi-decent teams, they might get a head start on the Lions, but the Lions will always fight back. They will not stop fighting until the game is actually over. And that's the coaching of Dan Campbell. It's really impressive in my opinion. I think Dan Campbell is he's a really good coach. And it's sad that he doesn't really have the talent around him to showcase his actual skills as a head coach, in my opinion. However, once they make a QB change and they start making some changes on that team, you might see this team make the playoffs if they keep him as a head coach. Do you agree with me, Potter?
Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. I'm just getting in my house. My dogs are being loud. But yes, I do agree with you.
Okay. So this is going to be a tough game for me to pick because I think the Commanders are actually decent really here in Washington with Carson Wentz. I think the Lions are a scrappy team that could actually cause trouble for the Commanders. Also questionable for injury report right now. I'm looking at right now, Washington's key player that's injured, that's questionable to play, is Jonathan Allen, a defensive tackle. Jonathan Allen we know is really good. For the Detroit Lions, they're actually questionable on DeAndre Swift and Michael Brockers, who is a defensive end. Those are going to be key players if they do not have them for this game on Sunday. Man, this is a tough game to pick. I kind of want to take the Lions. I think the Lions might go do a 1-1 this season and bring the Commanders down to 1-1. But I can see it going either way with both teams. I'll let Potter make his pick now for who's going to win this game. Or okay, he's probably still messing with his dogs.
What happened?
Yeah, pardon?
What happened? Sorry, were you talking to me?
Yeah, I was just letting you, waiting for your response about who's gonna win this game between Washington and Detroit.
Oh, Detroit for sure.
Okay, you're taking Detroit over the Commanders. Up next, we have the Buccaneers at the Saints.
Do this, I'll be back. The Buccaneers at the Saints?
Yep.
Well, I mean, it's really hard to say with this game. It really is. It's hard to say. I'm going to let you talk about this one.
The Saints have always had the Buccaneers number as of late for the last 2 seasons. I think the Saints actually are the team that beat them twice actually last season in the normal season. I'm going to make sure that is actually right before I actually mention about that, because I don't want to be wrong about the difference between the games. But last season, okay, I gotta do that. Let me check here. The Saints won. Yeah, they won against the Buccaneers in 21. Where's 20? Okay, yeah, they've won the last 2 seasons. They squashed the Buccaneers out twice in the last 2 seasons. In fact, the last time they played, the Saints won 9-0 against the Buccaneers. So they have the Buccaneers number. They have Tom Brady's number. Does the Saints? Is that gonna repeat this week? I have no idea. Let's just talk about the games that happened this last Sunday. The Dallas Cowboys losing to the Buccaneers for 19-3. I was not really impressed by the Buccaneers offense. There's a lot more to talk about with the Cowboys, but I think the Buccaneers should have at least scored 30 points on that team. The Cowboys were fucking terrible that night, and we're gonna talk about the Cowboys when we get to them. But as for the Buccaneers, I think they should have scored more than 19 points. That's my only thing about the Buccaneers. I was not impressed by them just scoring 19 against them. As for the Saints, they had a comeback win against the Falcons and won 27-26 in what was a close match to the end. Once the Saints got back into it, I thought the actual Falcons were actually going to win that game, and I was like, wow, okay, Atlanta's actually going to show up for once this year. But Saints came out, they finally came back and won the game against the Atlanta Falcons. Man, this is a tough game to talk about. Potter, you got anything to really say about this?
About which game? I'm sorry.
The Buccaneers at Saints.
Honestly, it's really hard to say because Marcus Mariota played, we're talking about the Saints. Jameis Winston played really well in game one. I can't remember if they won or not, but I know he played decently well. But I don't think it's going to be enough to beat a Tom Brady fueled for another ring Buccaneers. So I'm going to take the Buccaneers.
My only problem with that statement is that the Saints have won every regular season game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Tom Brady on their team.
That's great. That's all well and dandy, but this is a new year, and I just don't think the Saints got it this year.
It is a new year. It's just hard to say. I don't know with the Saints. I don't know with the Buccaneers team. The safe pick right now is take the Buccaneers easily. But if you're going for a spread, I thought the spread was gonna be a lot higher than that. They're actually putting the spread at 2.5. Wow. Okay, never mind then.
That's why I was like, what you talking about there, Wolf?
Like, I was like, if it's a +7, I take the Saints with a +7 because I don't think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a close game for these two teams. I'm gonna.
You think or you know?
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be close. I'm gonna take the Saints. I'm gonna take the Saints over the Bucs.
I'm gonna take the Bucs.
Yeah. I think the Saints are actually going to have a good week this week. I think they're actually not gone yet. They still have Jameis Winston at the quarterback position. He's not injured yet. Knock on wood. Cameron Jordan is questionable to play, but I think he's going to play. Marcus May's questionable to play. I think he's going to play as well. All these questionable players is because it's Wednesday. It's not like close to game time. That's normal. I think it's going to be a very interesting game. And plus, I was not impressed by the Buccaneers against the Cowboys. Tom Brady has no offensive line help this year, and Micah Parsons almost killed Tom Brady by himself, really, there. Let's see how this offensive line does against a good defensive line in the Saints, and let's see how he does. You ready for next game?
I'm ready.
The Carolina Panthers at the New York Giants.
Baker Mayfield, what the hell were you thinking? Why in God's name would you make a claim that, in your words, quote unquote, I'm gonna fuck them up? In what reality, sir, did you think that you were actually going to have a good game against your old team, who's stacked to the max, mind you, stacked to the max with defensive and offensive threats? I can name up just a few to show you the mistake you made. But I won't, because this is a new game for you, Baker. This is a new game for you to come in against a decent team that's still trying to find their own identity. Okay, this is a chance for you to make up for last week, Baker. In your defense, if they can stop Daniel Jones and the Giants. No flavors. I just don't understand what was going through the mind of Baker Mayfield when he said, I'm going to fuck them up. What reality, sir?
That's Baker Mayfield for you.
Yeah, well, Baker Mayfield's a loser. That's what the scoreboard says. That the Panthers are down a win. And you want to know what's going to be the killer is talk like that. Talk that, why do you think you're better than everybody else? And this is the shit reason why the Browns dumped you to begin with, you fucking chucklehead. Just saying, the Browns dumped you to begin with because that's exactly how you are. And you proved it to the whole entire world this past weekend. How do you feel about yourself, Baker Mayfield? Best not be that good. But again, like I said, you have a chance to redeem yourself, sir. And I suggest you take it this weekend against a weakened Giants team who's still trying to find their their like what am I trying to say, Wolf? They're trying to
Their
find their
identity.
way. Yes. Especially, and it's not going to take them long with a coach like Brian Daboll. I'll tell you that right now. If he runs his ship the same way he ran his offense in Buffalo, then I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a show to see in New York. And I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna be nice and give them a mid-year to complete that goal, Brian Daboll. I don't think the Giants want to wait anymore.
I mean, I
They
think
brought you
last
in
week
for
they
a
kind of
reason,
proved it.
and he'll go out and he'll do it again
The
against.
the Giants last week, they went into, or were they home? Let me just make sure. They were, okay, they went into Tennessee, and they beat Tennessee.
And that's hard to do.
Brian DeBall took his balls out and said, I'm going to go for 2 and win this game that way. And that's what he did, and he won the game that way, 21-20. Brian DeBall showing off his balls with the Giants. Saquon Barkley, 18 carries, 164 yards, rushing with a touchdown. Barkley's back, apparently. Hopefully he doesn't get injured. Daniel Jones had a bad pass, but after the ball went and yelled at him on the sideline about it, he threw 2 touchdowns and 188 yards passing. 17-21.
Daniel Jones isn't bad if he has someone to make him into the player he needs to be, and Brian Daboll definitely can do that. I'm telling you right now, I'm not taking the Panthers. I'm taking the Giants because I don't trust Baker Mayfield and his bullshit.
That's my only problem, is that I don't know if Baker went into Carolina for 3 quarters and completely shit the bed until the 4th quarter when he finally came back against the Browns and almost let come back against the Browns. But the 3 quarters is what worries me for Baker Mayfield. They were not really good quarters.
Not at all.
This game is going to be hard because I don't know what Giant team's going to show up. The first half of the Giants was really bad, but the second half, the ball got his shit together. He got his team together, and he actually came out and just somehow surprised the Titans. And I don't know if it says a lot about the Titans being bad or if it says a lot about the Giants being good. We'll talk about the Titans later on when we get to that game. But I'm going to have to agree with you on this one, too. I can't take the Panthers with freaking Baker Mayfield. I don't know which Baker Mayfield's going to show up. If it's going to be the one that led the Browns to the playoffs and beat the Steelers in the wild card round, or if it's the Baker we saw last week against the freaking Browns until the 4th quarter.
That's exactly what I meant, Wolf, when I said I can't trust that guy. If I was a Carolina Panther fan, I'd be nervous about how the rest of this year is going to go, because who's going to, and that's the question, who's going to show up? And it's every game question you have to ask. Who's going to show up? The mature Baker Mayfield that took his Browns to the playoffs? Or is it going to be the immature piece of shit from last week who couldn't get his shit together until the 4th fucking quarter? Get your shit together, Baker Mayfield. Fuck, you're my franchise quarterback. Don't make me fucking bench you for the 2nd week in a row.
All right, up next, we got the New England Patriots at the Steelers.
I'm gonna one-side this, Wolf. I'm gonna let you talk about the New England side because I have nothing good to say about the New England Patriots. You guys got squashed by the Dolphins. Are you serious? You guys got squashed by the Dolphins? What happened? What happened? Just because Tom Brady's not in town anymore, you can't fucking cheat? You can't cheat, so you're not cheating, so you're losing? The same shit I've been talking about for the last 10 years is happening in New England now that Tom Brady's gone. You guys suck because you cheat. And now, because the fucking league's onto you, you can't, and you suck. You got beat by the Dolphins. You got beat by Tua. I underthrow every single ball, Tagovailoa. Fuck, get your shit together. Fuck Robert Kraft, get your shit together. Man, because I have nothing but great things to say about the way that Patriots are. Who the fuck are? In my anger for the Patriots, I forgot who they're playing.
They're playing the Steelers.
I have nothing but great things to say about the Steelers. I think that in his first start in a while, Mitchell Trubisky actually played a decent game. And I don't think that if the Patriots played that bad last week against the Dolphins, and I'm sure that fucking Bill Belichick is showing his players the newest way to cheat and lose. But I'm telling you right now, you're washed up, old man. You're washed up. You're going to get beat by another shite team. I guess the Steelers aren't shite, but still, you're going to get beat by another team in your conference. Then what? The Patriots are shit. Like, their quarterback, I don't know what's up with Mac Jones. Like, last year, he seemed he seemed decent.
I know what's up with Mac Jones. Do you want me to say what's up with Mac
terrible.
Jones? No, it's not that. I'm gonna say this. Mac Jones, last year he was really good because the offensive line gave him actual time in the pocket to work with his progressions. This year, he's a chicken with his head cut off. That offensive line is letting him get killed in the backfield, and that's why I watched with the Miami game. New England offensive line is freaking trash. They
It's
put
like every
5
play
trash
they gave up.
cans.
Did you watch that game?
Yes, that
It seems
offensive
like
line gave
every
up before
fucking play
before the
they
game
gave up.
started.
No, it seems like every fucking play, one of them or two of them would just give up. They would literally just give the fuck up and get pancaked.
Well, no, pancake is if the lineman is offensive lineman takes out the defensive lineman.
Exactly, but it happened on the other end of the spectrum. They just got smashed on and swam on all fucking game long. It was kind of sweet to see, not gonna lie. Like, being a Bills fan and watching that, like, and I've always had a little bit more respect for the Dolphins because, you know, they've always tried to work hard and never cheat, and they've never been super flashy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always had respect for the Dolphins in our division based on that and that alone. The fact that they're not super flashy and they're not fucking pieces of shit and they don't cheat, and the Jets are just trash and too flashy, and the Patriots fucking cheat. So I don't give a shit about either one of those teams. But the Dolphins I can respect. I'm just saying, like, but you guys got beat by the Dolphins, the 10-time world champions or whatever the fuck you are. However many fucking rings you have, I don't give a shit. Not anymore, bitch.
Steelers, somehow they're 1-0 coming into this game. They somehow survived against the Bengals in overtime.
TJ Watt is still questionable, is he not?
He's out. He's not playing.
Yeah, he's not playing at all.
He has a torn pec muscle, so he's
which
not
means if he has the same timetable as his brother, it should take about 7 to 8 weeks for him to come back.
Probably. But the Steelers somehow, some way won that game. I thought that game was going to end in a tie because both teams did not want to win that game. Cincinnati, we're going to talk about Cincinnati when we get to that team. Cincinnati had a bad week on Sunday. Joe Burrow had a bad week. We'll talk about that when we get to that game. Trubisky, he got the job done against the Bengals. That's all I got to say about that. He went in there, he won the game. That's all that matters. Trubisky, that's the thing that people don't understand with Trubisky, and this is the thing in Chicago as well. Is that he has bad games in Chicago, yes, but he still gets the job done and wins the game for them.
Trubisky, though, and you have to admit this, though, as good as he is, he's a bridge quarterback. They're waiting for Kenny Pickett to do something where they're like, all right, we got to put him on the field. Or they're waiting for troops to get injured. That's what's going to happen. Trubisky's going to be it sucks for him because he's really good. And if a team would really go all in on him, I feel like he could be a guy. But no one's going to go all in on him because he's a bridge quarterback or a backup. That's all he's seen as. After his stint in Chicago, that's all anybody sees him as, which is terrible because I've always kind of liked Mitch Trubisky. Even when he was a Tar Heel, I really liked him.
Yeah, I don't really mind Trubisky that much. I actually liked him as a backup for Buffalo just in case Allen went down.
He was
I
great as a backup here, but that's not his. I mean, honestly, he deserves a chance to start after the performances that he showed in Josh Allen's absence last year.
I don't think actually Allen had an absence last year, did he?
I'm saying preseason wise, and any time that they
preseason
pulled
wise.
Allen to play Trubisky.
So Trubisky has his chance right now against a Patriots defense. Okay, let's be honest. I can't say anything good about this Patriots defense after what they did against Miami. This Patriot defense was supposed to be really good going into week 1, and they completely got embarrassed by Tyreek Hill, and freaking Tua turned the ball
Did you
over.
see? Okay, so I know that we're not talking about the Dolphins, but can I talk about what I want to talk about now? Because it just came in my brain. Because I want to yell at the Patriots.
Sure.
So, Patriots, what the fuck were you doing thinking that you could put single fucking coverage on the fastest fucking wide receiver in the league? I'm pretty sure that Belichick smoked a fucking gram of crack before they went onto the field, and he's just like, all right, single coverage on all receivers. The fuck were you thinking? Every underthrown ball, and there was a specific underthrown ball where Tagovailoa was getting hit, and he threw it real high in the air towards Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill stopped and ran back 5 yards and still caught it over your single covered cornerback. Why would you single cover Tyreek Hill? What the fuck? Did you see that? Do you know exactly what throw I'm talking about?
Yes, I know what throw you're talking about. Yes.
He got hit. He threw it real high in the air, like real high. And I'm like, fuck, that's gonna get picked. Fuck, that's gonna get picked. And fucking Hill, one hand catch, caught it. He didn't just two-hand caught it or possessive caught it. He fucking bossed you. Whoever the fuck was covering him, he fucking bossed you. I hope you're embarrassed because I'm embarrassed for you.
And it wasn't that Tyreek Hill ran without someone actually in front of him, actually not stopping him. No, he had the person right in front of his face with him on his body, and he caught that fucking shit.
He was just burning him. He would turn around and come back for the underthrown ball, catch the shit with one hand, and then still burn this motherfucker for like 15 yards.
Yeah,
you guys are wishing you guys had Stephon Gilmore still, huh?
New England, if you really want to be like actually like a team that I should worry about this year, fix your fucking defense and fix your offensive line.
You guys should get Ace to be your personnel hiring because, like, seriously, you guys fucking suck now. It's laughable. Okay. Honestly, in 17 years of the bullshit that they put me through, this is great. This is the best time of my life as a football fan. To watch them fail every week is just, it's great.
So you're taking the Steelers over the Patriots?
Yeah.
Somehow the Patriots are favored in this game by -2 points.
Even if Mason Rudolph was fucking playing, I'd still take the fucking Steelers over the Patriots with the shit that they did this past week against the Dolphins. You know, dude was sitting behind his TV freaking the fuck out at the TV.
I would be too if I was watching my team doing that against the Dolphins.
Hell yeah, dude. And I've done that where I've watched the Bills get shit on by the Dolphins, and I'm like, really? This is fucking happening right now? It happened on a Monday Night Football game, and I remember it distinctively because, like, what's his name was EJ Manuel was still our quarterback, and we started the game really good, but then we just shat the fucking bed.
And I'm like, they came back and won. That's a 2012,
like 14-0 going into the half. And then they fucking scored like 28 unanswered points on us. Chad Henne was still their quarterback.
Their backup, it was Tom Brady, wasn't it? Or
we're talking about the Dolphins, and Chad Henne was their quarterback. Chad Henne was their quarterback.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Steelers over the Patriots. Until the Patriots prove that they actually can be this team that they were last season, at least, I'm not taking them at all in any game. I expect them to go. I don't know. If you get an offensive line that can actually help Mac Jones, that'd be nice for him, too. Indianapolis Colts at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So last week there was, I don't know what it was, but I'm pretty sure that like Jacksonville like had a first half like dookie, and then they just turned it on out of nowhere. Like Trevor Lawrence just turned it on out of nowhere, and it was kind of crazy. Like I'm pretty sure they were getting their asses beat too. If I didn't really watch that game, but I heard that he just lit it up at the end of the game. Like Trevor
Yeah,
Lawrence was looking like Trevor Lawrence, the fucking Heisman Trophy winner, Trevor Lawrence.
yeah, he played bad until the third quarter, and then he came back in the game and almost won it. But Wentz also showed up as well and kept it close. You see, here's the thing. I'm gonna say this real quickly. Indianapolis, you have a man that was he almost MVP last season? Jonathan Taylor, running back wise. This man goes off. You give him the ball 31 times and he gets 161 yards carrying and a touchdown. He's going off. Why the fuck are you letting Matt Ryan pass the ball and putting it in the fucking ending in a tie? Pardon?
I hate when it does that.
Does what? Oh, it cut you off for no reason?
Yeah.
Go on though.
The mods are fucking with stuff.
They shouldn't be. They know not to touch my stuff when I'm actually recording. But
Anyhow. So what game are we talking about right now? I'm sorry.
Colts and Texans.
Colts and the Texans.
Colts against Jaguars, yes, but I was calling about Texans and Colts, about how the Colts tied with the Texans.
Yeah. So I don't know. Do you want to talk a little bit?
I'm gonna say this. Indianapolis, I don't know what the hell you're doing. You had Jonathan Taylor running for 161 yards carry a pop, really. Had 161 yards of carry. 161 yards in that game, I meant. And you somehow tied the Texans. I don't think the Texans are really that good of a team right now, guys. And you tie with them. You missed the game-winning field goal too, but I mean, I can overlook that. But what? Either the Texans are better than I thought they were gonna be, or the Colts just fucking suck. You let Matt Ryan pass too many times. Now, you have a different team here. You have an actual Jacksonville Jaguars team. And my question for you, Colts, are you going to do something that is unheard of and actually fucking tie with them too? I really think that they're going to fucking tie with the fucking Jaguars. I'm not fucking surprised if they do fucking tie with the Jaguars. I'm not surprised if there is no fucking win in the AFC AFC South again. Because I don't know how the Colts actually fucking tie with the fucking Texans in the first place. But yes, what Potter said about Trevor Lawrence is right. Trevor Lawrence coming back against the Washington Commanders. Lawrence looked really good in the second half. If he can keep that up, he can actually be a problem in the NFL.
But like with past people where we've seen that happen with, like let's use Eli Manning for an example, where he's a second half quarterback and a first half shit the bed. So how much can you shit the bed and then try to fucking redeem yourself in a second half?
My only thing is that like people actually not complain, but they praise Eli Manning for his heroics.
Right. But like when his career first started, he was definitely a second half quarterback.
Oh yeah, he was. I agree with that. I think that the same fate is going to be for Trevor Lawrence. I think for the first little bit of his career, he's going to be a second half guy. He's going to just shit the bed for the first half until he can get it together. Because obviously, again, this is a new year, new coach, new system. I get it. Like Doug Peterson walks in and his system's different. So you got to learn the whole system all over again. And that's hard for a quarterback. So you got to give him time. But if there's going to be flashes like that for the rest of the season, I can tell you this, that Trevor Lawrence is going to be something special, and he's going to take that Jaguar team's places. I agree. I think Lawrence was actually really special. He showed glimpses with Urban Meyer as well.
Be their year. I think that they're going to be better than they were.
better than they were last year, but you still don't think they're gonna make the playoffs or be an actual legit team until next season.
I think that they could be a wild card factor for sure if they play well, but they again have to fix those mistakes that they're making right now, where they're performing in the second half and not for the entire game.
I think this is a big game for Indy. If Indy somehow loses this game or it ends in a tie again, I don't know what the hell to say about Indy. Indy's supposed to be the front runner in the AFC South, and they are looking like garbage against the fucking Texans. I mean, sure, okay, fine. You guys came back in like the second half or fourth quarter and tied it at least. Yeah, congratulations. You didn't finish the game and didn't win the game, so that's all that freaking matters. You ended in a tie. It's a bad thing for Indy because they were supposed to dominate and destroy a team like the Texans, and they walk out just ending without the win and without the freaking loss somehow. But without that win, it does not mean nothing. Now it's gonna be different when I talk about the Texans because the Texans actually showed up. They actually showed up. They actually could be a legit threat in the division.
And that's the thing. They showed up and they didn't have. I'm sorry. He's a Cardinal now. I'm sorry. I keep thinking like we're not there at that game yet. I don't think.
No, we're not.
Okay.
But yeah, the Texans showed up, and that's I don't know if the Texans are good or if the Colts are just fucking bad. Because if the Texans are bad and the Colts are bad, then who's gonna win that division? The Titans? I gotta take the Colts over the Jaguars because I don't think the Jaguars are there yet. But the Colts, you need to show me something. You need to show me something here. You need to win this game. You cannot be a laughingstock in this fucking league. You're gonna be a laughingstock if you lose this game. So freaking win this game.
Honestly, yeah, I think Matt Ryan needs to have a win this week. I'm gonna take the Colts as well.
They need to win this game. If they lose this game, they're gonna be laughed out of the fucking NFL.
You know what though? I'm gonna take the Jaguars because 100% this is the Colts game to lose. And I think they're gonna lose it. I think that Matt Ryan's just not got it no more. Like, we've seen the decline. Like, we've seen it this weekend. Like, he's not as good as he once was. But then again, he's not a Falcon, and that fucking line sucks too. So, like, to escape the pressure, like, of course, Matt Ryan's known for escaping it. But, like, how much can you do it when you're that old?
The Colts are supposed to have one of the best offensive lines in the league.
Didn't show.
Didn't show last week. But
Not
they're supposed
all.
to be.
They're supposed to be.
How many sacks did he take, actually? Let me check.
At least 2.
Matt Ryan. Yeah, only 2 sacks. How many QB hits?
Yeah, I was going to say only 2. But still, that's 2 too many.
But 7 QB hits from the Texans.
That's 2 too many, though. That's 7 too many for a seasoned guy like Matt Ryan. Sorry. I know that's not what you want to hear, Colts fans, but got to.
Colts, I'm taking you, but if you don't win this game, I'm going to lambast you next week if you don't win this
game. Taking the Jags because it's Trevor. I'm looking at the future. And the future ain't the Indianapolis Colts.
Up next, we have the Miami Dolphins at the Baltimore Ravens.
Tua. Dolphins fans. Dolphins coaches. You need to hear this. You need to stop just throwing the ball up when you get fucking hit. Tyreek Hill's not going to be there every throw. You got, in my opinion, this weekend, you got lucky. The Patriots are trash, but you got lucky on a lot of those fucking throws. Real lucky. Like, there was like, and I thought they were going to get picked, and then they get one-handed catch or caught by Tyreek Hill. Like, that shit wouldn't have happened last year. That shit wouldn't have happened if that was Devontae Parker. Fuck that. No way. You got lucky. And this week, I don't think that you're going to be able to get away with that shit against the Ravens defense. I think Tua, you're gonna have to actually like be smart and throw slant plays and dump offs and not try to go for that long fucking weird high ball that you throw in the air. That's like I'm a cornerback and I'm waiting to catch it. Like I'm literally standing there waiting to catch it. If it wasn't for Tyreek Hill able to redirect himself, you would have got picked off like 4 times last week.
Okay,
Get your shit together.
I got a question though. Let's just say let's take the Patriots out. Let's say that situation happened again in this game where he just throws it up in the air and it's about to be intercepted. Do you think Marlon Humphreys is gonna let Tyreek Hill catch that ball?
Hell no. He's not gonna. He's gonna do his damnedest to try that if he doesn't catch that ball. But I'll tell you that Tyreek Hill will catch that ball 3 out of 4 times over Marlon Humphreys. If you're gonna throw, but I think that there's gonna be double coverage there. They're gonna have to. The Ravens are gonna definitely watch what they did last week, especially what their best player, that at least everyone concedes them to be, did last week. And if he's catching balls like that and redirecting, you don't think that there's going to be an extra safety put there, or like they're going to work on something to stop him this week?
So here's the thing about Miami. I don't think Tua actually is a really good quarterback. Sorry to say that, Miami Dolphin fans, but Tua got bailed out by his receiving core last week against the Patriots, and I stand by that.
Out.
A good defense like the Ravens, a good defense like the Ravens, Bills. I'm trying to think of our good defenses off the top of my head. Steelers would never let that happen either to them. They're not gonna let a receiver basically dictate the game like they did, like Tyreek Hill did against the Patriots. And they're gonna double team Tyreek Hill as well. Now, this is gonna be a big game for the Dolphin fans because they need this win against the Ravens to show that they actually can compete with the Buffalo Bills. They get the Buffalo Bills next week, guys. Their fairy tale story is about to go crashing down when they face Buffalo. It might come crashing down against the Ravens right here tonight, right here on Sunday, if we're being honest.
I don't think the Dolphins are as good as the Ravens. But I think with Tyreek Hill, they'll just have just enough to squeeze by. So I'm going to take the Dolphins. I hate to say that, but I'm going to take the Dolphins over the Ravens based on the fact that Tyreek Hill is going to have another day. Like if he's able to redirect himself and catch the balls, and that was like 10 yards underthrown, dude. He fucking jetted back there and one-handed caught that shit. I'm sorry, the man's a monster. Like I don't know how Marlon Humphreys is going to keep up with that unless he has someone else there.
No,
but that's going to leave someone else.
Keeping up with Tyreek Hill. It's going to be a 2-on-1.
It's going to leave. So if they double him, that's going to leave somebody open. You know who that somebody is?
What are you trying to say? You're going to say Waddle?
Yeah, they're going to leave Jalen Waddle completely open. And if it's not Tyreek's, if it's not Hill's day, it's going to be Waddle's day. I'm taking the Dolphins.
My thing is, how is he going to throw the fucking Waddle when he's throwing 10 yards underthrown to Waddle as well? You think Waddle's going to run around? You think Waddle's going to do the same thing Tyreek can do?
Is if the Ravens decide that they want to double Tyreek Hill, that's going to leave Waddle open.
I think another factor in this game that the Patriots didn't have against the Miami Dolphins is that they had no pressure on Tua Tagovailoa. I think there's gonna be a lot of blitzing from the Ravens in this game on the defensive front here. I think they're gonna they're gonna see if Tua actually has the mental capacity to find the open receiver and throw it to him when they're blitzing like 8 people in that box. They're gonna make Tua's life a living hell. They're gonna hit him as much as they can. We didn't really talk about it, but let's talk about this Miami Dolphins defense. Really great against the freaking... I have nothing bad to say about the defense. Last season, their defense was really good. Their defense looks the same as this season against Mac Jones. However, they're facing Lamar Jackson this week. What do you got to say about Lamar Jackson and the Ravens offense against the Dolphins defense?
So Lamar Jackson is definitely a running threat. But that defense was really good. That Dolphins defense showed a lot this weekend. A lot that I've never seen out of them in a while. Like, not since they had, like, Cameron Walk and stuff. And I don't even think they were that good when they had Cameron Walk.
Huh?
Nothing. Go on.
Okay. I'm pretty sure they don't have Cameron Walk anymore, so don't say that.
No, they don't have. They don't have Wake. Cameron Wake.
His name is Cameron Walk.
Walk Wake. I've heard both
Anyways,
abbreviations.
so with a team that's a defense that's moved on from Wake, Walk, whatever you want to say, the defense that's moved on from him, in my opinion, is leaps and bounds better. Xavier Howard, and the fact of the matter is as I hate to say it, but the Ravens, and Lamar Jackson's great. I just think he's a glorified running back. I've always said that about him. I think he's a glorified running back. I think that if he tries to throw a ball especially the way of Xavier Howard, he's going to get picked off a lot. And Xavier Howard's going to take advantage of that. And it's not like Tua's the only quarterback on the field in that game this weekend that's going to underthrow balls. I feel like Lamar Jackson will underthrow the shit out of a deep ball, and it will take Xavier Howard. I'm going to take the Dolphins. Again, I'm taking the Dolphins to win this game because it is leaps and bounds better with their defense. And honestly, Tyreek Hill, it comes down to it. They're going to double him. Someone's going to be open, whether it's their slot receiver or Jalen Waddle. Doesn't matter.
I'm taking Baltimore. This is gonna be a true test for the Dolphins defense. I don't think the Dolphins defense was actually tested by Mac Jones. We're gonna talk about. Did we talk about the Patriots already? We already talked about the Patriots. That offense was fucking trash. Keep them off the fucking field. This offense is actually gonna be decent, and it's gonna give a test for the Dolphins defense. We're gonna see how the Dolphins defense actually plays against the Baltimore Ravens. I gotta take the Ravens.
Let's see how much Lamar is forced to throw. So this is gonna be the same situation. It's going to be the same situation as it is for another team that we're talking about this weekend. It is going to be in the hand. Like, you guys need to put it in the hands. Dolphins defense, you need to let the game rely on the fact that Lamar Jackson can't pass the ball. Because if you let them run all over you between him and J.K. Dobbins, it's going to be a game.
Dobbins is questionable to play.
I know Dobbins is questionable to play, but I feel like Dobbins will play.
And their lead running back is actually Drake.
Kenyon Drake?
Yep.
Oh, and Kenyon Drake coming back to Miami.
Yeah. I forgot all about that.
So
I think that this is going to be Baltimore's game, and there's a lot, like...
It's not. It's going to be Miami's game. Sorry, Wolf.
We'll see. But Miami has a freaking challenge next week. I promise you that. Buffalo's not going to be a team to fucking take lightly.
Not at all.
Up next, we have the Atlanta Falcons at the Los Angeles Rams.
I think the LA Rams are going to come back, and I'm not even going to say anything. Sorry, Falcons fans. This is going to be your game or you lose. I think that Stafford and company was embarrassed by Buffalo Thursday night, and they have had more than enough time to work out the kinks. I think we're going to see the Matt Stafford that won the Super Bowl last year.
I don't think this is going to be a contest. Falcons, you kind of blew it last week against the Saints. This is not the Saints. This is the Los Angeles Rams. This is a team that wants to prove that they are still a legit Super Bowl contender, and the Bills made them look like absolute jokes. You're about to feel the brunt of the violence of the Rams offense and defense this week, Atlanta. And a young team like you got to take losses like this to learn about the NFL. There's a reason you guys in the spread are 10.5. You're getting 10.5 points. I don't see this being much of a contest. All I gotta say is good luck, Atlanta. If you somehow beat the Rams, then we're gonna have a lot of question about the Rams.
Somehow.
If you somehow beat the Rams, we might have to talk about the Rams not being a legit team in the NFC this year. Can you imagine that?
I can imagine that.
Anyways, up next, the Seattle Seahawks at the San Francisco 49ers.
So I can't wrap my head around why Nathaniel Hackett would go for the play that he. But good on Geno Smith. He had a really good outing against a really hyped up Broncos team, and good on him for the W. Good win, Geno. That's a good win. You played semi-great. A lot of what I seen was good. Like, a lot of what I seen was what I expected when you first got drafted to the Jets. But, you know, you needed to be humbled, and that's what that was. So don't let this stop you, Geno Smith. Let this be a lesson and where you could become better and lead a team now where there's no Russell Wilson. You know what I'm saying? You have Noah Fant. Noah Fant's a really, really great. I thought that he was really underutilized by the Broncos, and he is going to be fearlessly utilized by Geno Smith in that Seahawks offense. As you've seen against the Broncos, there was a bunch of catches by Noah Fant. Bunch of them. It was like every couple of catches I heard Noah Fant's name. Targeted Noah Fant, Noah Fant, Noah Fant. And he caught in this game what, in my opinion, is half or more of what he caught last year in Denver.
All right.
You know?
The Niners really had a bad loss against the Bears last week in that kind of weather game they had to play in. It's an embarrassing loss as well. Bad game for Trey Lance as well in that game. No touchdowns, interception, 164 yards passing. Geno Smith, like Potter just said, had probably his best game I've ever seen play in the NFL. Geno looked really good actually for the Seahawks as a quarterback. But my only question is, how long can Geno keep this lasting for? That is going to be the problem here. And plus, the Niners defense is not nothing to laugh at. The Niners defense is really good. They just had some missed coverages against the Bears. And without any like actual offensive help by the Niners, that's why the Niners lost that game against the Bears in Chicago. But I mean, this is a game where you're gonna see both quarterback. Like, we're gonna see if a quarterback can actually make a play here. It's gonna be either Trey Lance or Geno Smith's game. Can Geno Smith do it again? Is gonna be the question against the Niners defense. Oh, it's tough to say. I gotta take the Niners over the Seahawks. I'm just not trusting it yet. But Geno, go out there, prove me wrong, and yeah. You're not gonna be without Jamal Adams this week, but I think Jamal Adams is a bum anyways, so that doesn't really
I'm
matter.
not gonna lie. I have to disagree. I think it's gonna be the Seahawks. And I just think it's based on the fact that Trey Lance is. I don't know if even the Niners trust Trey Lance.
I really don't know of Trey Lance, but I also don't know if the Seahawks, they don't really have the team. I don't think really compete with this defense.
I think you might be wrong.
But we'll see. We'll see if Geno Smith can actually do it again. Because that's all, like, right now it's going to be on the hands of Geno Smith. If Geno Smith can make it actually happen, then it's going to be a different story. And the Seahawks
I think we're seeing a lot more humbled Geno Smith than we've ever seen before. I think you're going to see a lot of surprises out of Geno Smith come this weekend.
If the Seahawks win this weekend against the Niners, they are going to be 2-0, and they're going to be leading the division easily. So, take that as you will. Okay, up next we have the Bengals at the Cowboys.
I know you wanted to talk about the Bengals, so go ahead.
Oh, I got like a lot to say about these two teams, but I'll let you go first if you want to talk something about these two teams.
I mean, honestly, I was marked safe from hearing "We Dem Boys" this week, so anytime the Cowboys lose is a treat for me. I think that this is an opportunity for Joe Burrow and company to come back, especially with that. They had a hard week this past week. They really did. Like you were saying when we were talking about the Steelers, Joe Burrow had a hard week. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that this is the week for him to bounce back and be like, hey, we're still here, man. Like, and they're gonna do it against a taken advantage of Cowboys team. I think that the Cowboys. I hate the Cowboys. I don't like the Cowboys.
Cowboys are ass.
They're ass.
The fucking Cowboys on fucking Sunday Night Football went out there and completely embarrassed themselves against the fucking Tampa Bay Buccaneers in ways that I even couldn't even imagine. Dak Prescott's gonna be out for this game, and we know how the Cowboys play without Dak Prescott playing as quarterback. So I don't think the Cowboys have much of a chance to beat the Bengals in this game.
Cooper Rush is gonna get murdered.
I don't think it's Cooper Rush playing. Is it Cooper Rush?
That's their backup.
Oh, it is Cooper Rush. Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Cooper Rush. Or we could see Cooper Rush actually play well. I mean, I don't
Now,
know.
for Cincinnati, last week, you know what this game proved with the Steelers and Bengals is that the Bengals still don't know how to protect their fucking quarterback from getting hit. Last week, Joe Burrow took 7 sacks against the Steelers. He got hit even 5 more times besides the sacks. Double digits for hits basically on the quarterback. Joe Burrow is a dead man walking. If Micah Parsons gets in that backfield, it's going to be a rough day for Burrow. He might be throwing another 4 interceptions at the Cowboys defense. Because we know that freaking Trayvon Diggs loves getting picks off of hit quarterbacks. That's what they did last season. The offensive line for the Bengals need to show up if they want to beat the Cowboys. If that Cowboy defense wins that game for them, the Bengals go 0-2, they're not a playoff contender anymore. They'll be back in the spot they were like in 2020, where they're trying to actually like figure out their identity again. And plus, Joe Burrow was injured like in 2020 as well. If he gets injured because of this offensive line, I don't know what to say about the Bengals. I gotta take Cincinnati because, you know, Cooper Rush. The Cowboys' offense is atrocious, and it's like one of the worst things I've ever seen in the league. But the Cowboy defense at least can do something to Joe Burrow and the weak, suspect Bengals offensive line. But I still gotta take the Bengals because, I mean, with defense does not really matter if your offense can't score points, right?
I've also taken the Bengals.
Do you get my point, though, about Burrow and the offensive line?
Yeah.
Okay.
They need to protect him better, else he's not going to last. Look at what happened to him last year. He got so banged up that he needed to get like surgeries and shit in the offseason, did he not?
I believe so. I don't know how much of a severity he actually had.
But still, like, they need to protect him. You're right. Like, they need to bring in, and I think that they should have, like, they definitely, if the trade deadline comes.
Okay, get rid of that fucking bum called John Feliciano and get an actual, like, legit lineman.
I don't think they believe Feliciano's a bum.
I mean, he was a bum in Buffalo. That's why I'm calling him a bum right now.
You know what they say about players that leave Buffalo, they play better.
Yeah. But we're both taking the Bengals?
Yeah.
All right. Houston Texans at the Denver Broncos.
Houston Texans at the Denver Broncos. So I think the Texans barely squeaked by. I'm really excited to see what more that Russell Wilson can do in this Broncos offense. I think the defense really needs to keep up, but I think against the Texans offense, Davis Mills is not going to be easy to stop. I think that I think this is going to be the one weird sleeper game that we get where we think they're two shite teams, but they're not two shite teams. You know what I'm saying? And it could very well turn into a battle through the air between Russell Wilson and Davis Mills.
Okay, I got a lot to say about this Broncos offense, and it's not because of Russell Wilson. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Denver Broncos freaking savior, their head coach, Daniel Hackett, Nick Faneuil, whatever his name is. I call him Bum Hackett because this is the type of thing. This is what he does. 2018, he was the offensive coordinator for the freaking Jacksonville Jaguars. He did this is the same type of offense he ran in Jacksonville, and then he goes to a team that has Aaron Rodgers he's basically Aaron Rodgers' bitch in Green Bay. And Rodgers basically does the play calling, and somehow he gets a head coaching job because of that?
Apparently.
This guy can't fucking call an offense to save his fucking life. They had fucking... How many shots did they have in the red zone, Potter? Against the freaking Seahawks?
I want to talk about the one shot that he could have taken at the end of the game to win.
Okay, go ahead.
Where you need to trust in your quarterback that you paid this much money to. So if you go out and you trade away for a franchise quarterback and you re-sign his contract for 5 years at $105 million or whatever the fucking cost was, right? But you still decide to bring out your fucking field goal unit when it's less than 10 yards to get your first down. You don't put the ball in the hands of your franchise quarterback. You put it in the hands of a kicker who can't really kick the ball well. So what happens there is Nathaniel Hackett looks like a Russell Wilson feels like his team snubbed him. What does that say about the Broncos?
It's the head coach.
I'm gonna have to actually. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to go in and actually.
I know you agree with me. I know you agree with me. Don't say you don't.
I'm gonna have to go back into the clips and actually put a bleep on that one.
That is the second time that a coach has done that to Russell
first?
Wilson. It happened in the Super Bowl where Pete Carroll could have just handed the ball to Marshawn Lynch and Russell Wilson did a great job and they could have got their Super Bowl ring. No. They decided against a fierce Patriots corner to throw the ball. That was the wrong move. And in my opinion, the same wrong move happened, but Russell Wilson was fucked again because they could have given him the ball and he could have just thrown the ball.
Now,
hey, why did you have to believe me? Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Yes.
I should have said remedial, but I know everybody was thinking it. You guys can't tell me you weren't thinking it. Nathaniel Hackett really, really kicking himself in the ass for that bonehead ass move.
Now, here's my thing. I understand going for a field goal if you have maybe a 50-yarder or maybe even a 40 to 50-yarder. Not a 60 fucking set. How much was it? 63? 64?
64 yards.
64-yard field goal.
You know it was like 4th and 5, right?
Oh my god.
Can you see why I used the word I use now?
I know, and this is the same type of off.
I apologize, by the way.
This, guys, I want you guys to realize something. This guy did the same stuff in fucking Jacksonville as the offensive coordinator. He was not bright then. How did he get an offensive coordinator? How did he get a head coaching job being freaking Aaron Rodgers' bitch is my only question.
The Broncos are desperate since they fired John Elway. I'll just say it. The Broncos are desperate since they fired John Elway. Everybody is thinking it.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I either have to take a freaking idiot at head coach in the Broncos, or I got to take a young team that is actually looking decent as the Houston Texans. But I don't know if they're there yet to really beat the Broncos.
They're not. Unfortunately, they're not, but they will be. I think Russell Wilson's got too much on Davis Mills. I think that he could, if Russell Wilson comes out swinging, he's going to carve that defense apart. Especially. Go ahead.
I was gonna say just Russell Wilson, like he's too experienced not to actually do good against his Texan defense. I'm just gonna take Denver to beat Houston. I don't think it's gonna be that much of a contest, and there's a reason why there's a +10 for the Texans in the spread. You can finish it up, Potter.
I'm gonna actually finish it up by saying, I really would like to see the Texans, if they're gonna come out, this might be the game where they get it all together. Like, I don't know if they're all there, but I mean, Mills has shown signs of really, really good football. You know what I'm saying? You can't deny that.
No, Mills is actually a decent quarterback. I think people underestimate Mills. Mills is actually really good for like his draft position and whatnot. Mills is actually like better than maybe he's way better than freaking Tua, let's just say that.
Yeah. But he could definitely learn more.
That's the only thing. He's an inexperienced quarterback. That's his only downside.
But if you asked me, I would pick Davis Mills over Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh yeah, I would.
But if you also asked me if I picked him over Russell Wilson, I'd say no.
Mills could be there someday, but it's just not this day.
I think I'm going to take the Broncos.
Broncos? Okay. So up next, we have the Arizona Cardinals at the Las Vegas Raiders.
So that's the question I need to know: is if J.J. Watt's going to be healthy? That is, I mean, Arizona's a really good team, and we saw the Raiders last week. They weren't that good.
J.J. Watt is questionable play.
The Raiders aren't that good.
You don't think the Raiders are
I
that
hate
good?
to say it. I don't think the Raiders are that good.
I mean, last week you were saying that the Raiders are going to beat the Chargers because of Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I don't think that, and you know what? It's not like Devontae Adams is Tyreek Hill. He's not I don't think he's that explosive of a playmaker. And I think I may have misspoken last week when in saying, and I felt like if Derek Carr, and I do still feel like that it could be a Peyton Manning, Marvin Harrison thing with Derek Carr and Devontae Adams. Is just two souls that were playing together in the beginning of their career have finally made it back to one another. They were college teammates, right?
Yep.
Okay, so the story behind that.
Yes.
I think that if they can really get going, I think they could be great. I just don't think that it's, they didn't play that well that last week. I'm pretty sure they lost last game.
They lost last game against the Chargers. They lost 24-19. Derek Carr threw 3 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, but almost 300 yards passing. But, I mean, the 3 interceptions is bad for Derek Carr.
It is. It is.
Kyler Murray. The problem with Kyler Murray, though, is that he had 193 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Didn't really move the ball down the field that much against Kansas City. And that was the problem they had. The offense just didn't really move.
City. That was against Kansas City. This is a whole different defense.
But the defense is not that good.
Kansas City's defense is not good? What?
I don't think Kansas City's defense is that good.
Okay.
Last year, look at what they did last year.
Hold on. Everybody in this room heard this fan say that Kansas City's defense is not good, right? But didn't they just steamroll over somebody?
Yeah, they just steamed over the freaking Cardinals.
They just steamrolled over the Cardinals.
I don't think the Cardinals are that good on offense either.
You might be right there.
That
I'll agree with. I'll firmly agree with.
I think you're going to see how the Chargers offense is going to give the Kansas City defense a run for their money, and we're going to actually see if the Kansas City defense actually can pull up with that team. Arizona. Arizona is going to be this is a game they must win, in my opinion. They got embarrassed by the Kansas City Chiefs. Raiders didn't really get embarrassed by the Chargers. They kind of it was a close game.
I think that if Carr and Devontae Adams can really get on page this week, and based off that, and again, I'm going to go with the Las Vegas Raiders because I really feel like this story of these two that played together in college, that was one of the best college duos at that time that I had ever seen in that time period. That they're back together. I really think they're going to make magic. I just think it hasn't happened yet. I think this is going to be the game where it happens. Because again, you're right. I don't believe that Arizona's any good. I don't think their offense is very good. I don't think their defense is very good. And I really think that this Las Vegas Raiders team, a team that made it to the playoffs last year, mind you, I think that they can very well get back there. And they found a piece in Devontae Adams. And if Adams can stay healthy and Derek Carr can stay healthy and they really start making magic there, that they can really be the top quarterback wide receiver threat next to Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs.
So I think the Raiders are actually
we've
in a
never
better
seen,
spot
and
here.
I'll point this out too. We've never really seen Derek Carr have a really explosive wide receiver before. We've never really seen him have that threat that he can throw the ball to Devontae Adams and Devontae Adams can make a spectacular catch. I don't think he's ever had that before in his whole stint in his whole Raiders stint. I don't believe he's had an explosive receiver like that.
I mean, he's had a fast receiver in Henry Ruggs, but I don't know if he's actually Devontae Adams.
Yeah, Henry. You mean Henry? I went to jail. Ruggs and only
jail.
Play at the
Yes.
speed. Yeah, that doesn't count. Sorry, it doesn't count.
I think the Raiders are the favorites easily in this game against the Cardinals. I don't really see the Cardinals as much of a threat. And also, Zach Ertz is questionable play in this game. J.J. Watt is questionable play as well. Not really that much injury concern.
That's two big pieces on offense and defense.
Yep. Also, Andy Isabella is questionable play as well. They're still not going to have DeAndre Hopkins.
I'm taking the Raiders.
Yeah, you got to take the Raiders here. That's just too lopsided for the for the Cardinals against the Raiders. I don't think it's really that much of a big deal. Up next, we got the Sunday Night Football game. We got the Chicago Bears going to Green Bay to take on the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, so I think that this is Chicago's game to win. If you watched any of Green Bay's game this past week against the Vikings, Aaron Rodgers was trying to throw the ball, and he seems so frustrated with his receivers. His receivers just are dropping it, are not able to run the route properly. I don't know what the problem is, but you could see the frustration, and they pointed it out. You see the frustration from Rodgers on the sidelines now that Devontae Adams is gone. Not to bring up Devontae Adams, Green Bay fans, I know that it's a hurtful subject, but you guys need to figure out something at wide receiver, man. Like, Sammy Watkins is great. I love that you guys have him. I love that you guys have Randall Cobb. They're two seasoned vets that can really get the job done for you. You don't have something explosive, and I'll come back to that explosive factor when you don't have when you have an explosive player like Aaron Rodgers, but you don't have another explosive player to play off of him where he can throw the ball to, like Devontae Adams, and like really be in sync. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't work. And you've seen it happen. The breakdown of the Green Bay Packers against the Vikings. The Vikings took complete advantage of it.
So, Sammy Watkins, 3 catches, 18 yards against the Vikings. Randall Cobb, 2 catches, 14 yards. If you want to, like, compete against the Bears, you're going to have to get these receivers to actually catch the ball. I can't see actual drops on this site, so I don't know how many drops they actually had.
I just know that he was upset. Like, when I watched the highlights after, there was pure frustration on the man's face. If you want, go ahead and look it up. Like, there's a picture of him on the sidelines, just pissed as fuck looking, sitting there shaking his head and shit. Like, they showed it on NFL Network like 6 times.
Oh yeah, and he even went on the Pat McAfee show on Tuesday, and he completely rambasted his receivers on the McAfee show.
Yep.
That's how he is.
You can see. I just think it's not working out there. And who's their backup?
Who's their backup?
Yeah.
Backup quarterback, you mean?
Yeah. Is it still Jordan Love?
Yeah, Jordan Love.
So would the Packers be willing to deem, like, if this continues to be a problem, do you think that the Packers before the trade deadline are going to let Rodgers go to the team of his choosing? Like, do you think they could deal Rodgers? Here's the question in Green Bay. Is it worth it now for them to get rid of Aaron Rodgers, who looks like he's visibly frustrated and doesn't even want to be there, man? You can see it in his face.
Yes, I agree in the
like
sense that he had a bad week last week.
I'm there. Like, I run the whole store. I'm there, but I don't want to fucking be there, man. I hate my job. Like, I don't want to do that shit for the rest of my life. I just physically am tired of constantly taking L's, and I feel like that's how Aaron Rodgers feels. He's been taking L's for a while with Green Bay, a team that doesn't seem to want to make themselves any better. I mean, letting Devontae Adams go in free agency like that, not being able to match a deal, was kind of like that, like, in reckoning, in my opinion, was the nail in the coffin for Aaron Rodgers, that they might be ready to move on from Aaron Rodgers and to take away his wide receiver, the guy that he was the closest with. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, it just call me crazy, but I think that Aaron Rodgers' time in Green Bay is coming to an end, and Green Bay's showing it.
Now, for them actually trading Aaron Rodgers, I think it's too early to tell because it's only week 2 of the NFL
There's
season.
A lot of teams that could use Aaron Rodgers,
but I don't see him actually trading them. I don't see him trading him until they're actually in a bad spot in the season.
Exactly. But honestly, and anything could happen, Wolf. There could be a tremendous injury, and let me just use this as an example. There could be a tremendous injury in this game with the Seahawks, where Geno Smith is gone, and then who do they have? You think they're going to rely on Drew Lock? No, they can make a trade for Aaron Rodgers, and he could go to Seattle. Like that could be a landing spot for him there.
Hell, you could say the same thing for the Saints. You can say the same thing for.
And I could see Aaron Rodgers in silver and in blue, being a Cowboy.
Being a Cowboy.
Well, Dak Prescott's huh?
Being a Cowboy, you mean? Okay. Silver. I was like, silver. Who are you going with here? And then you said blue. Oh, okay. Cowboys.
I mean, it really could happen anywhere, and I just think that if it's not going to happen by trade deadline, and if the Green Bay Packers don't do anything to help out Aaron Rodgers with his wide receivers, that he's going to either want to trade or he's not. He's just going to want out, and he's going to play at a mediocre level until that happens.
So the only thing is, I got to take Green Bay in this game because it is the Bears. We know Green Bay's history against the Bears.
I don't care. I'm going to take the Bears. I think this is a different year, and I think Aaron Rodgers is frustrated with his team. And the way that they played this past week is going to show again this week, and Justin Fields is going to pick that apart.
Yes.
The Bears have always prided themselves on having a decent defense, so I'm not really worried about this at all. I think this is the Bears' game to win, and I'm going to take the Bears.
Now, with Green Bay games, last season we seen the same thing too, where Aaron Rodgers had a bad week to start the season, and he got going after a while, and everything was fine in Green Bay, and they won the first division, they won the first seed in the playoffs. Now, if we're talking about playoffs, it's a different story.
Aaron Rodgers had threats to throw to. Who does he have to throw to right now? Well, you just said it. Sammy Watkins, 3 catches for 14 yards. Cobb had 2 catches for what?
Exactly. 2 catches for like 14 yards.
Exactly.
But don't take Cobb out of the equation yet, though. Cobb is going to come back, and he's going to come swinging probably. Rodgers was putting a lot of trust in his rookie receivers this week, and they were dropping passes.
So I'm going to take the Bears.
Okay. Titans at Bills.
Really?
I'm
walking into Monday
first.
Night Football. Night Football for the second game, walking into a home game in Buffalo. You think the Titans are going to walk out winners? I don't believe so. We carved up the Rams in game 1, and you don't think it's going to be the exact same in game 2. I'm just saying, like, the Bills are going to continue going 2-0 into week 3. Talk to me when the Dolphins come to town. I'm taking the Bills all day, baby. It's going to be like that all season long. And it's not me being a Bills fan. I really actually feel it for them this year. They have Von Miller. Von Miller got 2 sacks on his former quarterback. Like, he sacked him, within the first couple minutes of the first quarter?
Yep.
He just tore apart that offensive line. Von Miller's a monster. And if you pair that with Gregory Rousseau and Ed Oliver and that Bills team, Tremaine Edmonds, Matt Milano, that team, Trey White's back and healthy. You know, that other cornerback's not doing terrible. But it looks like a better Bills team than last year. And I'm really excited to see how far they go. I don't really think that this is going to be a game, unless you're a Bills fan, that anybody's really going to be like, oh, the Titans, blah, 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 blah. You could talk about 1999 all you want, but this is fucking 2023, and this is the year that the Bills win the Super Bowl, and I think the Titans are not going to be a factor in if the Buffalo Bills get a win this week or not. I'm taking the Bills.
Now, Potter knows I'm taking the Bills too, and I think this is going to be just a complete domination of the Bills, just completely dominating the Titans. Trey White is actually going to be out for this game against the Titans. He's still not back yet, so you have Benford and Khalil and Dame Jackson actually playing corners for the Bills. But we saw against the Rams that it did not really matter who was guarding Cooper Kupp, because that defensive line came out and they completely dominated Matthew Stafford. And I think that's the whole story about this game as well here. I don't think the Titans really have an actual receiving core besides Robert Woods, who was non-existent in the game against
Julio
the Giants.
Jones.
Julio Jones is not there. He's actually in Tampa Bay.
Oh shit! Really?
Yes.
How did I not know that?
AJ Brown went to Philadelphia as well.
Oh, okay. So like, okay.
They don't have
No, I
any
knew that.
receivers.
Damn. So yeah, no, for sure. Like,
They only have
Sorry.
Robert Woods basically.
oh, poor Robert Woods.
So you're gonna have to hope that Derrick Henry can get through this defensive line. And I'll be honest here, last season the Bills didn't really have a good run defense. This
No.
defensive line with Von Miller is a freaking disaster for any team's offensive line. And I don't think a run offense is going to be able to actually stop this 4-man rush that the Bills are carving up here right now. Von Miller has made these rookies, like, these rookies were decent. They just didn't have the actual experience edge. And Von Miller is teaching them something in practice and this, that, and the other. And that's why they're getting pressure right now. Oh man, there's a lot to say about the Bills. There's a lot to say about this Bills team. I don't think the Bills are actually gonna have a loss this season right now if they keep playing the way they did against the Rams. They had 4 turnovers in that game against the Rams, and they still destroyed them. That's
I agree.
unheard of. If that's the Bills team that shows up every freaking game, there's no way they're fucking losing a game. Now, of course, there's going to be a game where they're going to not show up like that and they're going to lose here or there, but I don't think this is a team that's going to like get that out of them. They're going to be focused, especially since the last 2 seasons they lost to this team. So they're going to come out there and they're going to look to actually show the Titans that they're actually the team in the AFC. And right now, I think they're the actual front runners. Sorry, anyone else that's really an AFC team fan, but Buffalo's here to play. Last but not least, Minnesota Vikings at the Philadelphia Eagles.
All right. So the Eagles played really well against the Lions. The Jalen Hurts wasn't playing terribly at all. He was running around real comfortably, passing the ball comfortably. From what I saw in that Lions game, I mean, as much as I didn't like what he did to the Lions, I liked how he played. I think that he's able to, but again, the Vikings, what they did against the Packers, man, like it's a weird to say who's gonna win that game because it's hard to say. You know what I mean? It could. I mean, who? And it really depends, in my opinion, on who shows up. Is it going to be Kirk Cousins that actually wants to play? Or is it going to be Kirk Cousins, I hate everybody and everything, and COVID's a thing, and everyone's got monkeypox, and my name's Kirk Cousins, blah, blah, blah. Is it going to be that Kirk Cousins that the Minnesota Vikings don't want? Or is it going to be the Kirk Cousins that the Minnesota Vikings need?
Don't forget, this is primetime as well, and we know Kirk Cousins on primetime is not that good as a quarterback.
My God, he's terrible on primetime, dude.
And this is Monday Night Football for the Vikings and Eagles. And that's my main factor for this game, is that it's primetime Cousins against the Eagles. And that's why I got to take the Eagles against the Vikings. Now, if this was not primetime, I think the Vikings actually have a decent chance at winning this game. I don't think Cousins actually played that bad. I think this new coach for the Vikings is really good for them. They proved against the Green Bay Packers. Yep, Kevin O'Connell.
I like Kevin O'Connell.
I think he's a really good coach. And getting rid of Mike Zimmers was the biggest problem for Minnesota, and you're going to see a decent season out of Minnesota. But Kirk Cousins on primetime, man, I just can't, take against it until he actually shows something on primetime. So I'm taking the Eagles against Kirk Cousins. And by the way, since you were talking about A.J. Brown had 155 yards off of 10 catches. It's looking like Hurts actually found the actual number 1 receiver for once, and he's going to actually, show off now.
That's what I'm saying. It could be really tough for the Vikings this weekend. I'm still going to take the Vikings to win, though. I don't think Hurts is there yet.
You don't think Hurts is there yet?
Nah.
Like I said, I would take the Vikings if it wasn't on primetime, and the Cousins primetime curse is just I can't go against it myself. But anyways, that's all our game for tonight for week 2. Any final words, Potter?
Go Bills.
Go Bills. All right, guys. So I'll see you for week 3 next week. Actually, I believe I'll see you actually earlier because I have to do the actual short video as well. So we'll get everyone's picks in. Remember, guys, get your picks in for Thursday night game on Thursday. This video will be out before the game actually starts up. I believe this will be out at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Our time right now is Wednesday. So on Thursday, it'll be out probably around 2 o'clock. So get your picks in, please, before the Thursday night game. And then, of course, get your picks in by Saturday for all the other games of the regular season. Go subscribe to the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/theavatarwolf. Follow the YouTube channel, subscribe to the YouTube channel, you know, this, that, and the other. Show some love. And yeah, I think that's it for me. I'm going to get going. Peace. Have a good night.